power engine flew 120 feet in 12 seconds in a 27-mile wind. This marked the beginning of our modern air age. A few years later, in 1912, a young man from Fort Collins, Colorado, was giving exhibitions at county fairs in Colorado and Wyoming in a homemade Curtiss-type pusher plane he had built himself.
Good afternoon. I want to visit with you some this afternoon about the need of Oklahoma City for an airport. As I see it, it's not a question that you vote on next Tuesday as to whether Oklahoma City will improve its airport or not, but whether we will have an airport. By that I mean an airport that can take the planes that are now being delivered to the major airlines of this country, the jet transports. Only 8 cities in the United States now have airports with runways long enough to accommodate this type of plane, which will, when it is fully delivered in the numbers now ordered, double the passenger carrying capacity of our airlines. This is the DC-8 and the Boeing 707. One has already been delivered. Oklahoma City has only a 7,500-foot runway. To land these new jet transports, it will require 10,000 foot of runway, heavier runways, and a 2,000-foot overrun on each end. Unless Oklahoma City can offer this type of landing field, then you can be sure that none of the major airlines would risk the $6 million jet transports in landing them on the short runways that we now have. Furthermore, the CAA, for safety reasons, would not permit them to land here. Now, as these major airlines are planning their routes and their schedules for these new jet transports, most of the transcontinental lines will perhaps schedule in the middle of the country a one-stop for fueling. This is for the reasons of economy and being able to carry a heavier payload, 124 to 150 passengers, whereas if they fly non-stop across the country, they can carry but only 90. And so someplace in the Middle West, among 2 or 3 cities perhaps, will be this one-stop service. Now, among the 8 cities that now have the 10,000-foot runways with the 2,000-foot overruns on both ends are Tulsa, Dallas, and Chicago. Many other cities have their plans. Fortunately, Oklahoma City has had its plans drawn for several years. Our application has been approved by the CAA for some $6 million in federal matching money to participate 50-50 on the extension of these runways, taxiways, terminal building improvements, and above all, an air freight terminal. Unless we pass this bond issue on Tuesday, that is December 17th, then this $6 million in federal funds will revert and will be reallocated by the CAA to other cities that are waiting in line, the line that we now are in #1 position to take advantage of. And so if we defeat the bond issue, we will have to drop back behind the other cities that are now in line, and it might be 5 or 6 years before we'll again become eligible for this $6 million in federal aid. In other words, this federal aid to airport bill provides that the cities must use it or they lose it. I think it's significant that on the issue, it is on Wilbur Wright Day, the day that man first conquered the air. And I believe we'll all agree that the airplane is here to stay. Oklahoma City can become the major aviation center of the magic circle of the air. With the CAA $14 million center, the University of the Air, we have a great chance for growth. The employment has more than quadrupled the employment formerly there, but we can't keep this valuable base unless we are able to land the jet transports with which this very valuable federal installation and its employment is concerned with regulating and training those who will navigate and bring the planes in on instrument conditions. I think it would be a disaster for Oklahoma City to be bypassed by these major airlines and take its place as a branch line city instead of on the throughways that are so necessary for aviation.
time. Camera's running.
I'm Gilbert Smart. I'm the crew chief at Will Rogers Field Refueling Service. We service all these airliners, and every gallon of gas which we run into an airplane, the city of Oklahoma City gets from 2 to 4 cents a gallon.
My name is George Starwalt. I'm the field foreman for city maintenance crew here at Will Rogers Field. Our job is to maintain all city-owned buildings at Will Rogers Field. Of course, we're just a few of 100,000 or thousands of men employed at Will Rogers Field.
My name is Earl Hammonds, and I work for American Airlines here at Will Rogers Field. My title is Fleet Service Clerk. We haul thousands and thousands of tons of freight. We transfer a lot of freight from the cargo house to the ramp, from the ramp to the cargo house. A lot of people think we don't nobody ride airplanes but people, but we haul thousands and thousands of pounds of freight, which is vital to all industry.
My name is Freeman Moulton. I'm what you call a skycap. I'm one of the hundreds of people that keeps this airport functioning. On this bond issue, I think it's a very important issue.
I'm Mrs. Agnes Brown. I work for Skychef Restaurant, Municipal Airport, Will Rogers Field. I have 4 children. I hope the airport issue goes through so that they may enjoy the facilities.